Janis Joplin was bisexual, hot and had an insatiable desire. She had sex with approximately 2,000 men and nearly 400 women during her lifetime. Pearl was very scandalous in bed, and when she was having sex everyone listened from afar because she screamed a lot and moaned. She had quick and lengthy involvements with several important personalities, but also slept with sailors, fans, musicians, friends, relatives and anyone she could. Felt like it. In Texas she had sex with the entire football team. She always complained that no one satisfied her sexually and the way she needed it. 500 multiple orgasms a day, and said it only made her 200, she always wanted more. Also complained that men and women should improve performance when they had oral sex on her because it was very important to her. Come on, I want everyone to lick me and suck me. Use their tongue on me, very slowly and with a lot of passion. During the Festival Express tour in 1970, she complained that the tour was disappointing because she had managed to have sex with only 65 of the 365 people aboard the train. When asked why she didn't have any women in the band, she replied that she didn't like competition because she always wanted to be the center of attention, and said, "If you know good musicians, introduce me and I'm in the band. I'm free. I have sex with men and women and that's not what they wanted, for me to have sex with them, so why are they complaining?" Janis Joplin dated Chet Helms. In 1963 she ran away from home to try to succeed in music. He invited her to San Francisco to meet the hippie movement that was starting. Their relationship ended because his mother interfered a lot in the relationship because knew she was a born witch and said that her son should only date people who had a lot of money. He was dominated and influenced by his mother, who loved to play one against each other. She told him that Janis was dating him and Jay Whittaker at the same time, so he told Pearl to make a choice. She said she couldn't choose because she loved them both, so he broke up. In 1966 he invited her to join the band Big Brother and the Holding Company. Jay Whittaker was interested in a friend of both. Janis frequented, sang and played in lesbian bars. When she saw Jay, was interested and gave her a kiss. From then on they started dating. Jay was very jealous of Janis because she was bisexual. She was always surrounded by many men and women and she traveled a lot. This aroused distrust in Jay. When Jay found out that Janis was dating Chet Helms at the same time, she also told her to choose between the two. Pearl couldn't make the choice and Whittaker broke up. In 1963, Janis Joplin and Jay Whittaker lived together on the third floor at 186 State Street, San Francisco, California. Joplin had a brief engagement to Peter DeBlanc, a well-educated New Yorker who eventually worked at IBM. She met him during her first stint in San Francisco. He spent hours playing a little ball on apartment wall, and the two corresponded by letters when Joplin moved back to Texas. The two became engaged in the fall of 1965. And Joplin began planning his wedding along with his mother. Shortly after, he broke off the engagement because he was cheating on Janis with another girlfriend who was pregnant with him. Janis was devastated with the end of the engagement. The band Big Brother and the holding company was family to Janis and Your Friends and Dave Getz, Sam Andrew and James Gurley. They had sex to her. Pearl was very lonely and gave herself to anyone who gave her a little love, sex and attention. Always very sexual and insatiable, she had sex with everyone: friends, colleagues, musicians, fans, family, acquaintances, strangers, and many times she entered relationships forming love triangles, as was the case with James Gurley, Dave Getz and Sam Andrew. Janis Joplin had sex with James Gurley from the beginning at Big Brother and the holding company, and he even lived for 2 weeks in Janis' apartment. This aroused the wrath of Nancy Gurley, his wife, who indignantly argued with Joplin and at the time took her son Hongo and said, "He has son." Joplin complained to James, "His old lady comes marching into my room with the boy and the dog and confronts us." After this episode, Janis Joplin became friends with Nancy and also started to have sexual relationships with her, and they all kept this love triangle, and everyone from the band Big Brother and the holding company, wives, children and Janis moved to Lagunitas. Janis Joplin had sex with Nancy Gurley. She was also his friend. Janis honors Nancy's memory by dedicating the LP she was working on, Cosmic Blues, Nancy G. Love. Also, the song To Nancy, Elegy, on Pipe Dreams by James Gurley is dedicated to his late wife. Sam Andrew loved Janis Joplin. He was her friend and they had sex eventually. He was guitarist for Big Brother and the holding company and Cosmic Blues Band. Dave Getz was his friend and they having sex eventually. He was drummer for the band Big Brother and the holding company. Grace Slick was Janis Joplin's greatest love. She was there all her life. She was her friend, confidant and girlfriend from the beginning of her career until her death in 1970. They were inseparable and passionate soulmates. Grace was very jealous of Janis, and when they find during tours or between tours, Grace demanded Janis exclusivity. That just stay